on social media here lately. So I guess I'm coming across on social media to talk about things I'm seeing on social media. But this is directly related to our COVID-19 coronavirus. Well, first thing that some of the questions that I've been getting uh, from producers, from agents, can I give coronavirus to my animal and vice versa? Can they give it back to me? And I know that the whole idea behind this is the thought process that that consuming the bats in China is what started this whole thing. But coronaviruses are actually very species specific. It's typically a respiratory or a intestinal type deal. Coronaviruses typically, like I say, are species specific. They will stick with that animal. They can cross, but it takes years of mutations for that to actually cause a problem in another species. And I know you've seen the reports of the tigers at a zoo. I think it was in New York. I can't remember exactly where those tigers were that had some issues from the COVID. But once again, this is extremely rare. And also, you probably heard about the dogs in China that actually had it and died, but they never did a necropsy to see exactly what killed those dogs or why those dogs died. So this is one of those deals of it's very species specific. It may cross, but it takes years for it to mutate. And the one that we have right now, the COVID-19, is very human specific. So it's only going to cause disease in humans, and if you think about all the cases, human cases that have been reported, and just the 4 or 5 cases of hearing about this in animals, you go, this is not very common that it would cross from them or them back to us. Usually these animals are going to suffer from their own coronaviruses, especially in cattle. They have an intestinal type um, coronavirus, and also a small animal, and also horses. They have a coronavirus that is an intestinal type of coronaviruses. But the big concern would be, protecting yourself uh, the way the CDC is recommending, as in social distancing, washing hands. Those type of things are going to protect yourself much better than if you're around those animals. If you are sick, since we're kind of in the unknown with this virus, if you are sick, if you are feeling bad, well, get somebody else to tend to your animals and take care of them just to be sure. But most likely, this is not going to be crossing back and forth to each other from us to our animals. One other thing that has come up, I've been seeing on social media, and um, I actually made a couple of jokes about it, but you see uh, a study out of Australia that says ivermectin it will treat COVID, will treat this coronavirus, slow it down anyway. But and when I saw that, I made a couple of comments of all of it I spilled on myself. I should be safe, but that's actually no, that's wrong, and it won't keep you safe. There are some studies out of Australia showing that in vitro studies, and in vitro studies are one where in vitro, where it is done outside of a living organism. It's actually done in a petri dish and or some other cell culture, and showing that it has effective measures there. But that's a lot different than in vivo. In vivo is actually within a living organism, and none of those studies have been done yet. And just because it shows promise in vitro does not mean that it will translate to being effective in a living organism. And where this um, problem, or where a problem may come up, is people wanting to go buy ivermectin, animal ivermectin products from a feed store or that type thing. And if you read the label, it's clear that it is to stay away. from humans. Do not use this. It is not safe. It has not been studied. And where I bring that up is if you get a question from somebody that's actually asking about it around you, or and I also bring this up to say I know it sounds silly, but this has happened before. You may want to hide your medications if you have medications, or put them somewhere where they're locked up. This has happened in the past where uh, medications have been stolen off farms, and then they tried to use it on themselves, or tried to sell it to other people. And so these kind of silly things happen. So I think it might be advisable for you to take that, take your medications, put that in a safe place, away from children, in a safe place where you know that is locked up, where people can't just walk in a barn, pick it up, and leave with it. And of course, if you have somebody asking you about it, hey, I know you've got animals. What do you think about buying ivermectin that I can treat myself with COVID? I know these are silly times, and sometimes people try silly things during silly times, but ivermectin for animal use is uh, not safe for us. There are ivermectin products that are formulated for humans, and that, of course, it requires a prescription from a physician. But these other ingredients that are within animal products, animal ivermectin, is certainly not safe for us, and needs to be kept away to where people are not trying to self-medicate with that. Certainly, if you have any questions about any of this, you're more than welcome to contact me. You can find my contact information on the Beef and Forage website. And stay safe. Hopefully, you're having a good spring.